75th anniversary? Wow.
It's a very special place. The conversations, the forums, the debates, but above all, the serious grappling with the great questions that confront this country.
There's something about the place that just rubs off on everybody here. We expect every single student who leaves here to go and make a difference. What we do is give them the tools.
There is an intensity, a level of intellectual experience here that is unique. For any young graduate student interested in the world, interested in politics, this would be an extraordinary place to spend a couple of years.
The absolute sense across the Kennedy School that there's a kind of collective challenge that we all face is really exciting. I've never had so many opportunities that I've wanted to take thrown at me in one go.
This is where an awful lot of the best minds go to understand the real world, how things fit together. And this country is better off because of the K School.
To try and change the world is too hard of a job to do it alone. The Kennedy School is a magical place not only to learn, but to find others that share that same dream, to find others that make you feel like you're not alone.
What I learned at the Kennedy School that was most useful for me, negotiation, diplomacy. When you negotiate better, when you problem solve better, things get done better. There's a time to be with the glove in the face, but there's also a time to be at the table and discuss. And that I didn't know before I came in here.
The Kennedy School gave me a very important experience. I realized that the knowledge itself is not important, but how you analyze the situation, that is what I learned from Harvard, the Kennedy School.
For me, this was the opportunity of a lifetime. There were just so many good people there. It just broadened my own perspective. Whatever I am today, I may say that the year and a half I spent at the Kennedy School really made a big difference in my
life. Every year at the Kennedy School, we have about 550 or so new students. I give an opening address because I'm the dean. And in that opening address, I take a speech that John F. Kennedy gave at Vanderbilt about the meaning of service.
I speak to you today, not of your rights, but of your responsibilities.
These are people from 90 different countries. Almost none of them were alive when Kennedy was alive. And yet, when he talks about the responsibility and opportunity when you engage with and care about something larger than yourself, you can hear a pin drop.
You must decide, as Goethe put it, whether you will be an anvil or a hammer, whether you will give to the world in which you were reared and educated the broadest possible benefits of that education.
It's really important to find a way back to this notion that we all have an obligation to serve. My dad and my grandfather taught me the same thing, that public service was a noble calling, irrespective of your views on policy, that people should have a desire to serve, and there's lots of ways to do it.
Despite the highly partisan, highly cynical world we live in today, there will always be a place for dedicated public servants who put their country and their world before their own ambitions. This is what the Kennedy School instills in all those people who have the hopes and the dreams and the desire to go out and be great public servants.
There is a headwind that blows against the kind of sacrifice and service that President Kennedy spoke about so many years ago. But as I go around the country, I find people more and more understand that we have an obligation to help people around the world who are in need. And so I have the same optimism now that I had back in the 60s when President Kennedy told us all to serve.
The thing I would say going forward is to maintain always at the front of Kennedy School mind, if you will, the fact that it's business, it's important business, is profoundly unfinished.
In the early days of the Kennedy School, public service meant working in government. Now, public service means many, many things to many, many people. A big challenge moving ahead is to figure out how to serve those many students who will become leaders in ways that are more diverse than President Kennedy ever imagined.
And President Kennedy combined rigor and relevance. That's very much what the Kennedy School stands for. It asks some of the most relevant questions of the 21st century and analyzes possible solutions in the most rigorous ways.
What the school has been able to do for the US is phenomenal over the last 20, 30 years or so in terms of getting evidence-based policy making to really inform actual decision making. And I think that's a role which we as a school now need to play for the world.
Pretty much everywhere I go, the presence of Kennedy School graduates helping to fashion the reforms that countries need to move forward is really a sign of encouragement for me, in the sense that we are doing a job that needs to be done and that the world is appreciating.
The engagement with the world and the call to public service is very much a part of our past, our present, and our future. It's that continuing commitment that we carry on and that I hope this school will continue to carry on for many generations to come.
As we think about the next 75 years for the Kennedy School, there will of course be opportunities that we can't imagine right now. I'm not sure what those issues are going to be that will most engage us as a civilization, but I know that the Kennedy School is going to be at the forefront of them, whatever they may be.